This is a really challenging variation of a hamstring glute bridge this is one of my favorite challenging variations of a hamstring or glute bridge hold that's really going to work on helping people find their hamstrings and train them, because we're going to train multiple things that our hamstrings do. So there is a propensity for people to cramp during this exercise. Usually that means a lack of strength in this position. So we want to flirt with the edge of cramping, not push so we can't do the exercise and push past that intensity, but we don't need to avoid it entirely, and it should get better with consistency with this exercise. If there is too much cramping, we want to regress the exercise in the different positions that I'm going to show you. So you're going to use your foam roller, and the hardest position would be a single leg variation of this, but I would recommend not starting there. That is something that we can progress to. What we are going to want to start with is the position. So first and foremost, the foam roller is going to go right about our midfoot, so not at the toes and not at the heels, but we want to be able to kind of think about doing like a calf raise and push our feet down into the foam roller. Now, the other thing that we need to think about is where the foam roller is in relationship to our hips. So further out is going to be harder, closer in will be easier. You want to find somewhere in the middle that is challenging but doable for the prescribed amount of time. To do this exercise, you're going to place your feet on the foam roller, push your feet down, and then we want to think about lifting your hips up by pressing into the foam roller, not just lifting your hips up. That is very different than pressing into the foam roller to lift my hips up. You will feel more hamstrings in the latter, and that's what we want. We also want to think about not just going into arch position here. We want to keep these connected a little bit. That way we are getting a little bit more out of our hamstrings, and they're working with our abs as well. Now, you can then from here progress to a single leg variation if you feel comfortable, but again, most people aren't ready for that. So you want to start with the double leg, then progress to the further position, and then progress to the single leg position from there. And of course, we can always slowly add time to the exercise if the positions are too big of a jump. So we definitely want to make sure we aren't totally avoiding cramping. We do want to make sure we don't have any pain, and then we do want to make sure we are progressing it over time, and you should feel that that connection with your hamstrings grows, the cramping decreases, and that you feel a lot more strong.